Alrighty, guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are here for Reincarnated as a Slime, episode 10. So I guess I'm binging a bit today. I'm trying to get really far ahead, so I might be watching two episodes of this today, so that way I can be ahead for next week as well, which is a busy week for me. If you've watched some of my other videos, I've been talking about it here and there. I've basically watched like 2 weeks of videos in one day. Tonight I'll have watched 3 videos and then have to edit all 3 videos, so I've been doing a lot of stuff. Anyway, let's talk about episode 9 really fast because I do just want to hop into this episode. It's also getting really hot in my room, so I want to get these recordings done so I can turn my air conditioner on. It's too loud to keep going while I'm editing, or while I'm watching. Anyway, so last episode was episode 9. We were introduced to the ogres. We had a bit of a fight against them, which was pretty cool. We got Rim showing off his abilities, or their abilities, because he's genderless, but I'm gonna say his because it's just easier that way for me. And we found out he was genderless. I believe that was that episode, right? Or was that episode 8? No, I'm pretty sure that was episode 9. But now the ogres are going back to the village, and they also don't have names, which I realized they had slightly different forms in the outro, because, you know, I watched those already, or maybe it was the intro, but spoilers. I kind of wish I didn't see it, but I'm guessing that's their named forms, is their more human-like form that they have. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they have to say, if they join Rim right away, or if they're just gonna be, like, friendly for now and they'll join Rim in the future. I have no idea. But yeah, and we still have, Gelmid out there, who we saw a couple episodes ago doing some weird stuff with orcs. I'm wondering if he was the cause of the ogres, like, destruction or whatever happened to them, so interesting. But yeah, let's just hop right into the episode, shall we? Alrighty, guys, so like usual, there's going to be a Vimeo link down in the description. Should be very easy to find. It should be right at the top of the description. Go there, and you can watch the reaction, and then once it's done, you can come back here and listen to the discussion. So go ahead and click that link right now, guys. Alright, guys, so that is the end of episode 10 of Reincarnated as a Slime. It's a pretty good episode. Definitely building up to this big orc conflict, I believe, that's coming in. And so we now know that the orcs... I had my suspicions, but it's now confirmed that the orcs are the pig people that we saw Gelmid give a name to. I wonder if the one that Gelmid named is the Orc Lord, or if that's a different orc. But Gelmid said he'd be part of the orc disaster, which I'd assume what's going on right now would be the orc disaster, right? But when we saw the flashback through, I don't know his new name, the one ogre leader, we saw a mask and it was different. So either Gelmid changed his mask and he's going around like as two different people, kind of, or Gelmid is somehow separate from this guy but could still be part of the disaster. I'm not sure. It seems like Gelmid's going around naming a lot of people, which is interesting. He offered the ogre leader a name. I'm not sure if Gelmid was going to name all of them, but if he could name all of them, does that make him more powerful than Rim? I'm not sure. So that's something to think about as well. And then we had some more development with just naming the ogres. They got their new forms, and we spent a lot of time around that. Like I mentioned, we saw the backstory of the ogres, which is something I wanted to see. Apparently they had a clan of like, I think it was like 200 or 300, and there's only 6 left, if I read it correctly. And they're naming bigger... I wonder if bigger or more powerful are two different things, in, like, the naming process. Like, because he named small goblins like they were short, means that they were able to, name more, or is it just because ogres are more powerful? Either way, naming 6 of them made Rim fall asleep, which confused me a lot at first, because Rem didn't even say a single name yet and then passed out, but apparently he did say them. Or maybe through the magic that is used to, like, name them, or whatever, like, that golden glow is whenever something gets named, maybe Rim thought up the names, and before he could even get to say them, it considered them named. And when that magic applied to them, they instantly knew their name without Rim even saying it. I wonder if that's how it worked. But I'm not sure. Maybe it just skipped over because Rim kind of blacked out and forgot what happened, and we were just in the perspective of Rim at that moment, so we blacked out too and didn't get to see what happened. So, I don't know. There's two options there to think about. But then we had the lizard people, which is what introduced us to the Orc Lord, who's apparently able to command these 200,000 orcs. We got a rough number count. I'm sure it's just an estimate. I'm sure those lizard scouts didn't count every single one. I'm pretty sure that's how it is with most battles. And apparently the lizard people only have about half that, so sent his son out, who is a very quirky individual, to talk to the nearby goblin villages, and it seems like he's going to be heading to Rim's village very soon, probably in the next episode. And yeah, seems like a very quirky character. I'm curious if Rim is gonna have to show a demonstration of his power to this guy, and he seems very externally proud, but internally like a nervous kind of guy. So I'm wondering how that will go, seeing Rim's power. Will it humble him a bit, or will he get cocky and then disproven and showing how much of a wimp he really is in front of his men, because he tries to keep that outward appearance and maybe tries to stand up against Rim and just gets, beat down or scared or intimidated or whatnot. But yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, interesting stuff. It's also kind of interesting. I was talking about it briefly in the episode, but it was going to be too long to go over. So Gelmid is going around naming things, like I mentioned already. And he named... excuse me. He named Gabaru, or whatever his name is, which is a lizardman. He was gonna name the ogres, but they didn't trust him, so they didn't. He named that orc. Who knows what else he's named. And he's going around naming things, potentially for evil purposes, that's what it seems like. They name drop that he's possibly a demon lord, so I'm not sure if that's true or not. Well, no, actually, no. He was like a general in the demon lord's army or something, right? We just found out this episode because we learned about that flashback. So he's most likely doing evil work. I don't want to stereotype and say he's evil just because he works for a demon lord, but yeah. What's it called? But yeah, so it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure if Gelmid has a hand in this orc army that's going down, but basically Gabaru is named by Gelmid, who is going to go talk to Rim, who is with someone who Gelmid almost named, and they're possibly going to fight against the orcs, which might have their leader be named by Gelmid. And it's kind of like this whole big circle that's all circling around Gelmid. And I'm not sure who the other guy in the mask, though, is, which is really what's throwing me for a loop. But yeah, it's just interesting how all of that is kind of webbed together. But yeah, I'm hoping next episode we have the conversation between Gabaru and Rim, and then Rim offers to help. And then we get to see some of the battle, if not all of it, in that next episode, because it'd be cool to see some more fighting. The show kind of has a good system that seems to be relatively recurring, of one episode has action, the next episode is kind of like talking and going over that, like what happened in that action-y episode. and then the next episode after that is action again, and then another episode to like cool down, like talking about it. So if it does keep following that kind of pattern, then we might have action next episode, which is always fun for me. I love talking and character development in shows, but sometimes it's just really fun to see an epic fight. So I'm liking the way the show is balancing it. But yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say about this episode, to be honest. What I normally do is I skim through the episode, which I'm gonna do really quickly, just to see if there's anything I didn't really talk about. I mean, Rem just eating towards the beginning is fun seeing him eat. All the food, the backstory, all that whole party thing. Not really much else to say. Aside from, you know, characters food gasming is always fun. But yeah, and then Rem names them. So that gets past all that. And yeah, and then it's just like the lizard stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think I covered most of it. I feel like I should have talked longer, but there's nothing really else for me to say about this one. So yeah, the sparring was cool with the older guy. It's always fun seeing an old man fight, because they're always so badass in shows. But yeah. Anyway, so that's going to be it for this discussion of this episode. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please subscribe so you can see all the new stuff that I do and whenever new episodes come out and all that. And you can also check out my Patreon for some nice benefits that I have now. I have full length, which I've had for a while, so you can see every episode I've ever had on my channel in full length, if you become that tier of patron. Then there's also one tier higher that includes everything in the previous tiers, so full length and early access, which the early access will get you access to at least one episode ahead of time. So technically, if you're watching this episode on YouTube right now, this is episode 10, you'd be able to watch 11 on Patreon right now if you, or Patreon if you become that level of a patron. So yeah, and if I have spare time, I'll be watching extra episodes and putting them up on there as well, so you'll be able to see ahead of all that too. So possibly you might see more episodes, but it's guaranteed to be one, unless it's an airing show. If it's an airing show that I'm caught up with, like, if episode, 99 of a show comes out that week, and I watch episode 99 that week, I don't make people wait a whole week to watch my reaction, I release it right away. But if it's a show like this one, where I'm behind all these episodes, then it's not a big deal, I do the early access thing. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. You can find the link to my Patreon in the description. My anime list is down there as well if you want to check that out and comment on any shows I've watched. Just don't spoil anything for me on the shows I'm currently watching. Or if you want to recommend any shows that I haven't seen when you check out my anime list, you're like, he hasn't seen this, he has to watch this. Let me know. I'm always looking for new stuff to add to my plan to watch section, which is going to be shows that I watch on the channel, is my plan to watch. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one, which I'm going to watch right after this. Bye, guys.